Hi, I'm Linda from Barlates Body Blitz, and here's my fur baby Minnie. Welcome to the 21-day Perky Lifted Butt Challenge. So just a little bit of an intro before you start the challenge. Basically, as I've already mentioned in some of my coffee talks, we are doing 21 days worth of squeezing and glute activation in order to lift up our butt cheeks and also get some really nice toning in our hips, outer thighs, inner thighs, all of that connecting area. So we're going to be doing one exercise per day, and we're going to just do 30 reps plus a finisher, which will either be isometric hold or a pulse, whatever I feel like torturing you with on that particular day. When you start, you'll start with day one, but if you want to, you can start stacking the days together. So day two, you could do day 1 and 2, day 3, do 1, 2, and 3, etc., etc. Or even double up on some of the days, whatever you feel like. You can use this 21-day program however you like. You can either do them standalone or use it at the end of another session, maybe a cardio session or a total body workout. You use it how you like, but the main thing I want you to do is to really dedicate that short amount of time. It's only like 5 minutes a day. Dedicate that amount of time to really giving it your all. Because it is so much a mind to muscle connection, these exercises will take concentration, they will take focus, they will take your responsibility to really give it your all. So it's not going to be one of these exercises where you can just half-heartedly do it and see results. You need to focus, you need to listen to all my cues and give it your absolute best. And then I promise you, with consistency, you will see the results. We will be using some equipment. The main equipment we'll be using is a small inflatable ball. If you don't have a small inflatable ball or a Pilates ball, you can just use a rolled up towel. Just make sure it's really tightly rolled because we need to have some good resistance there. We will also be using a resistance loop. If you don't have a loop, you can either get a Pilates band and tie it into a knot. Otherwise, you can just use one of those fabric booty bands. You don't have to use equipment for the entire 21-day challenge, but if you do have the equipment, we are progressing. So we're going to start off with the basics, and then we're going to get more and more difficult as the time goes on, because we want to make sure that we're constantly still giving the glutes some extra torture. Otherwise, they're going to get used to it and they're not going to keep giving us results, right? So that's why we're going to start off easier, even though it's not easy, don't worry. And then slowly we're going to progress and add more equipment so that you really keep feeling that burn. But if you don't have any equipment, as I said, you can still do it or improvise in some way. You guys are clever. I'm sure you can figure it out. Otherwise, maybe even buy some loops. Loops are one of those pieces of equipment that if you do my workouts regularly, you will see them again and again and again. The latex loops, yes, they're not as great because they roll up and they tend to snap. Maybe get the booty bands, they're harder to pull, so it's kind of like one of those catch-22 situations where you don't really know. Maybe just have both handy, and some sort of inflatable ball. You don't have to get an expensive Pilates ball. You can literally go to your sporting goods or even toy store and get a small inflatable playground ball. Anything that has little knobbly bits on it is actually easier to hold in place, especially with slippery leggings. So that's a little piece of advice for you. And when you get it, you want to let some air out. You don't want it to be fully inflated because that's much harder to handle. It's much harder to kind of keep in place, especially if it's behind the knee. So I always let quite a bit of air out. As long as you still have resistance to press against, it's totally fine to let quite a bit of air out. Okay, so that's the equipment. Oh, and the other thing is a chair, just something to kind of balance on. You want it to be quite sturdy, and obviously a mat. So that's all that you have to worry about in terms of equipment. Just make sure you're subscribed. I know I've said this many times, but I know 50% of my viewers aren't subscribed. Make sure you're subscribed and your notifications are turned on to daily just for this challenge, because I will be uploading every single day and you don't want to miss out. So plan it in your mind that you're going to commit to this challenge, even if you don't work out and do another workout on that particular day. Please, even if it's before bed, just before you're about to hop into bed, you're not going to get really sweaty or anything, do the exercises. Best of all, do them first thing in the morning so your booty is all nice and fired up for the entire rest of the day. Also, I've got a short warm-up and stretch. If you are just doing the workout by itself, you don't want to go into it cold, especially if you're in a cold climate. So just a really short warm up, a couple of minutes, and then a stretch afterwards. With the stretching, stretch as long as you want. Obviously, the longer the better. We will be contracting really deeply in a lot of different areas. So that stretching is essential to make sure that you're not super sore the next day and that you're lengthening everything back out. Okay, that's all the information I have for you for now, but as I said, leave me comments below. You can DM me or even email me if you don't feel comfortable leaving public comments, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So looking forward to working out with you for the 21 days for a perkier lifted butt. Let's get going with day one right away. Bye for now.